He was the type of person to motivate you. He always wanted anyone to succeed. He always wanted everybody to have a better life for themselves. He was just hungry. He just wanted to make the album. If he could get 500,000 fans, he used to say, he happy.
Check me out right here, yo.
We was like on our way to the parking lot, like waiting for the cars to come out. Our car came first, and we was waiting for Puffy's car to come. So when this car came, we all pulled out.
Big was in the front, Cease was sitting behind Big, and I was like sitting behind the driver.
Car just rolled up on the right-hand side and just started shooting holes in the door.
Kim was found guilty of lying to a federal grand jury during the investigation of a shooting outside a New York radio station. Prosecutors say she made up most of her eyewitness testimony about a 2001 fight outside Hot 97. The shooting broke when Lil Kim's entourage crossed paths with a rival rap group, injuring one man. Lil Kim now faces up to 20 years.
Lil Cease just did something nobody saw coming. He finally admitted he was wrong about Lil Kim, and that's huge. For years, Kim got painted as the villain in the whole Junior MAFIA saga. After Biggie passed, people started switching up on her real quick. They acted like she was never loyal, like she only cared about herself, or like she had no real connection to Biggie beyond the music. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The wild part, Kim was one of the only people who stayed solid after Big was gone. While everybody else was chasing the spotlight or playing victim, she was the one really holding his name down. But instead of being praised for that, she got hit with all kinds of fake narratives. Cease and other Junior MAFIA members didn't help. They leaned into the drama, feeding this false image of Kim being bitter, disloyal, and over the top. And once that version of the story hit the media, it stuck like glue. Fans ran with it, blogs hyped it up, and suddenly Kim was erased from Biggie's legacy in the eyes of the public, straight up thrown under the bus. But now, Lil Cease is finally setting the record straight. He straight up admitted that he helped push that false story and that Kim deserves her flowers for everything she did for Big, not just when he was alive, but even after he passed.
You know, just how did it feel to finally put that behind you? Because y'all is, like you said, it might not be your blood sister, but that's your sister.
I knew her before I knew Big. You know what I'm saying? I knew Kim before I knew Big. That's why the situation was that's why it lasted so long, because it was so personal. Mm-hmm. It's not about nothing with court shit, none of that shit. We're not going to even address that, but it's nothing to do with that. My apology was I wasn't a good brother to her. I made some wrong moves, some bad mistakes, and that was just the perfect time to do that. I didn't plan that. We was all having a great time, and and I just know the comfort she needed because I know her. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to let her know that. I wanted to let all the people around know that. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like that's what I wanted to do, and she deserved that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, when Big died, she held me down. And I wasn't acknowledging that the way I was supposed to. And then we had other little situations that kind of separated us, and other people that separated us, and we was too stubborn. People just let us on. And, and we just let God work. And God worked, and one day she hit me, and we talked like nothing ever happened. And she had a plan that she wanted to do this dinner. She said she wanted to put Big Heart back together. And putting his heart back together was getting all his peoples together. And we all got together, me, her, the whole Junior Mafia, D-Rock, and C Gutter. He was locked up for 16 years, so he was home to be there for that. Rube, just our whole team, like everybody that we started with was at that dinner. So I felt like that was the appropriate time to do it. And I needed to do that for her. And I wanted to do it for her. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that was a great time. And, that's my sis for life. Just because we had a little falling out, the love was still there on both sides.
That's a major turning point. After years of silence and shady energy, he's finally giving her the respect she earned. So let's really dig into why this apology matters. Because to understand how deep this drama went, you got to go back to the roots. After Biggie's death in '97, everything started crumbling fast. Junior MAFIA, the crew Biggie built himself, was suddenly in chaos. You had Kim and Cease on the same team at first, but when the money dried up and the clout wars started, loyalties got tested, and they failed badly. The final nail in the coffin came in 2005 when Kim got caught up in a serious legal mess. She ended up doing time for perjury after lying to a grand jury about a shootout in 2001 that went down outside Hot 97 in Manhattan.
Look him. I love Look him.
And that's when it got real nasty. People were pointing fingers, alliances shattered, and the public watched it all go down. Kim ended up getting hit with a serious sentence. 1 year in prison, followed by 30 days of home detention, and then 3 years of probation. She did her time at the Federal Detention Center in Center City, Philly, and was finally released on July 3rd, 2006. But here's where things really get messy. Because this is when Lil Cease entered the courtroom. Yep, Cease actually testified against Kim during her federal trial, and even though he tried to downplay it later, the damage was already done. He claimed the media twisted it, saying they blew it out of proportion. According to him, it wasn't that deep. But being seen on that witness stand in hip-hop, that looked crazy. Cease tried to clean it up by saying he wasn't the reason Kim got locked up. He insisted there was nothing I could have said to stop it. He claimed she wasn't in the kind of situation where his words could have saved her and that it just looked bad because of how everything played out. He added that maybe people around her made it seem worse, or maybe Kim just felt betrayed because of the pressure she was under. Still, Cease pointed the finger back at Kim, saying she had the power to handle things differently, but didn't. He stood by his claim that neither he nor anyone else from Junior MAFIA said anything that directly led to her being sentenced. According to him, she was going away no matter what because of what she lied about. But from Kim's point of view, this wasn't just some courtroom testimony, it was straight up betrayal, especially considering everything they had been through and everything Biggie stood for. Kim felt like Cease didn't just turn his back on her, he turned his back on Biggie's legacy. And in the rap game, especially back in those days, taking the stand was seen as crossing a line you don't come back from. After the trial, Kim made it loud and clear she was done with Junior MAFIA. She completely cut ties and let the world know she didn't mess with Lil Cease at all. For years, it was complete silence between them. Cease tried to explain himself in interviews, trying to smooth it over, but Kim wasn't trying to hear none of that. From her side, he sold her out, plain and simple. But the crazy part, the media ran with Cease's side. Kim got labeled as bitter, difficult, and unforgiving, even though she was the one who actually did time. Meanwhile, Cease was out here doing interviews and walking around like he was just speaking his truth, even though what he said helped put Kim behind bars. So yeah, this beef wasn't just about hurt feelings. This was about loyalty, betrayal, and how black women get scapegoated to protect everybody else's image. Then everything started to shift in 2019. That year, Kim hosted her annual tribute dinner for Biggie's birthday, and the event was full of people who had been close to Big, including every former member of Junior MAFIA, and that's when the unexpected happened. Lil Cease got up and publicly apologized to Kim right there in front of everyone. He told her she was like a real sister to him.
I genuinely apologize. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You like one of my, you are my sister. You're not a real sister, but you my sister.
God is good.
For life. And I love you for bringing this energy here, right?
God is good.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart, bro. For real.
Yeah, see, God is good. He's real.
Oh, you got that. I want to say that to you for years. It took a
Kim later opened up to Vibe magazine about that emotional moment. She said the timing couldn't have been more special. It's been a long time since we've been together on his birthday or doing any event together at all. For me, it was a spiritual awakening. Putting him back together is putting all of us back together. Then flash forward again to Cease's interview. Not only did he open up, but he got emotional. He admitted he wasn't a good brother to Kim, and then dropped a real bombshell. After Biggie died when he was down bad, Kim let him stay at her place. That part hit deep. Despite everything, Kim was still looking out like always. Lil Cease's apology flipped the whole script for a lot of fans. Suddenly, people started looking at Lil Kim differently. Like maybe, just maybe, they had judged her too fast. And more importantly, folks began to realize that Kim's side of the story had never really been heard loud enough. Now let's talk about how Lil Kim never stopped keeping Biggie's name alive, even when the world was out here trying to act like she didn't exist. From day one, Kim has been repping for Biggie nonstop.
Well, happy 50th. Happy Biggie 50th. One thing about Little Kim, she gonna ride for some B.I.G.
That's right.
And I'm so happy to see everybody here. I mean, the whole family. Tiana, CJ, you know, you guys are my heart.
You can go back and listen to any of her albums. She always shouts him out. She dedicates songs, verses, and moments to him like clockwork. One of the realest examples, on her second album, the Notorious K.I.M., she drops an emotional tribute track with Mary J. Blige called Hold On. In that song, Kim pours her heart out, describing the pain of losing Biggie as being just as intense as childbirth. And if you've ever seen that clip of her at Biggie's funeral, you know she wasn't faking that emotion. It was raw and real. And on that same track, she didn't hold back. Kim called out Big's so-called industry friends for profiting off his death. She didn't name drop, but come on. We all got a good idea who she meant. She was never scared to speak on what felt fake or shady. But despite all her efforts, she stayed misunderstood for years after Big passed. Folks either erased her from the narrative or acted like her role didn't matter. But let's not forget, Lil Kim knew Biggie way before the fame. Back when he was just Christopher from Brooklyn, he brought her with him from the block to the big stage. That says everything about the bond they had. Still, people kept trying to downplay her skills, saying Big wrote everything for her like she couldn't spit on her own. Yeah, he helped in the beginning, but don't get it twisted. Kim's pen is official. Ask anybody who's really listened to her bars. She didn't just rap, she helped build the female rap blueprint. No Kim, then there's no Nicki, no Cardi, no Megan, yet somehow the media kept coming for her, treating her like a side note instead of a legend. When that Notorious movie dropped in 2009, Kim was livid. They made her out to be some messy side chick, when in reality she was one of Big's closest people, both creatively and personally.
Never involved with the movie. I was never, but the movie went into green light and I didn't even know about it. You know, how can you write, this is my dispute with this. Like, how can you write a movie about somebody's life and you don't even talk to them? Like, that's just
how can they get your dialogue too? Like, if there was situations, okay, well, this is what happened. Like,
or the
if it was a big event,
right?
Then they say, okay, well, but how could they get just every word? Like
how,
this is what
how
she
do you
said.
know how I touch Biggie? How do you know how we kissed? How do you know how we talked? How do you know what? Like, there were certain things that we did intimately that no one would ever know except for me and him.
Right.
You know, and so after the movie went down, and you know they already picked who they wanted to pick, and you know they already greenlit the movie, and they were already shooting in Brooklyn. I went down there with my lawyers flipping, like, you know, what the heck is going on?
Have you seen the movie yet?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Is it hard for you to even watch it?
It's hard for me to even watch it because it's so far-fetched from the truth. I mean, the stories of even him and Faith, and it's so far-fetched from the truth. This story is ridiculously funny. It's like a spoof to me.
That portrayal was disrespectful, and she let it be known. Let's keep it real. A lot of the hate Kim got was rooted in straight-up misogyny. They called her disloyal. They said she was unstable. They tried to call her fake, but through all that noise, the truth stood strong. Kim was one of the only ones who truly held it down for Biggie. People tried to erase her, rewrite her part in the story, but Kim, she kept showing up in her lyrics, in her loyalty, in her moves. She didn't just keep Biggie's legacy alive, she protected it. And now, after all these years, folks are finally waking up. That apology from Lil Cease, it wasn't just about burying old beef, it was about finally giving Kim the credit she's always deserved. But now it's your turn. Do you think Lil Kim was misjudged all these years? And what do you think about the way she stood by Biggie through everything? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss the next drop. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.